Guess what? We have a very special, very short surprise episode for the 11th OVC. And in order to give you the full backstory, let's rewind just a little bit. But one of the things I learned last time was always carry your canteen and your haversack, because I had it slung off the back of the saddle. And I had my canteen, but somewhere along the trail, I lost all of the rations for me for that weekend and my mess kit and the bag that it all was contained in. So I'm guessing a spur caught it, cut it, and it's out there somewhere, and God knows where. Hopefully we'll find it again this weekend. Okay, so now let's fast forward in 2024. Steve and some of the guys with the 11th Ohio are going to re-ride a portion of the same section that we rode with the wagon escort to Sweetwater Station. And they happened to pass through the area, and it just so happened to be the place where we had to stop the wagons before they made the big, slow, arduous journey up the long hill. And they had to lighten the load. They actually had the typical Oregon Trail experience, threw a bunch of stuff out of the wagon and made it easier to get up that hill. And we abandoned it on the side of the road. Well, apparently at some point when I was helping unload the wagons, I had to stop and dismount, and either my spur caught my haversack strap, which at the time was slung over the bedroll on the back of the saddle, or it was weak enough through all the jostling along the miles on the trail that it broke that seam and it popped the strap, fell off, and was never heard from again. Well, we actually found where this was. And so Steve and the guys gifted it to me. So we have a little surprise unboxing on my old haversack. Let's have a look. So what was surprising, this is 8 years sitting on the Oregon Trail, which was really, really cool because there's all kinds of artifacts that were abandoned or lost or whatever that you could have found on the original route. And so when you stop and look at this, it's really cool to think that this is, even though this is all reenactor gear, there's all kinds of original gear that you could find on the trails. So one thing that was really cool is obviously all my rations were eaten by the mice, but you also are going to have like all my utensils are still pretty good. I mean, there's a little bit of rust on them and need a good washing, but that's not bad. The knife and the fork have a lot more rust on them than I would have preferred. We'll see if we can salvage those. I don't know. The spoon is still good. So that was kind of a shock. So utensils, not so bad. Tin cup, a little rusty. But what I found interesting was, for some reason, the bottom of it bowed out. So it looks like it is completely round on the back there, entirely filled with rust. But overall, not too bad. So that was kind of neat. So we'll see if I can salvage that too and get it all cleaned up. So not too bad on the utensils. The federal issued haversack didn't weather very well. As you can see, there's a hole completely through the back, and I'm guessing the rust from the pan didn't really do any wonders for it here, and it fell out through the back. All kinds of things chewed through it. The enamel has worn off in the elements, but you can still see that interior bag that would hold all the stuff there. And here is my beloved strap, where it all started, leaving this on the side of the trail. I also have some poke sacks that I had. This one was eaten through with the mice. They got my meat ration that I had in here when I first started. But surprisingly, I still have my coffee ration. All good to go in there. So we have some coffee beans from years ago on the trail. So that was really kind of a cool find, although I don't think I'll be making coffee out of this anytime soon. But that pretty much was all that was left of my rations, and was what ended up having me beg for scraps from everyone else as the acting sergeant on that little campaign ride. So that was a really, really cool find. And it's really just amazing for me to think of the ramifications of all the other things that you're going to have found on the sides of the trails, and all the original artifacts that may even still be out there. So anyway, that was just something that we thought would be kind of cool to share. Gave me a lot of closure after waiting for so long and never really knowing what happened. And then it's even luckier that they actually found the item that was lost so long ago, 8 years later. So that is what we've got. Until we see you in the field, ride hard and don't lose your haversack. And that is also why I definitely, from now on, always wear my haversack and my canteen on my person instead of slinging them off of the saddle, so that way I never have to worry about this nightmare ever again.